We're back, recruitment funding 1 year on. We've got another familiar face back today. We've got Pete Stanton from Peak Cashflow. I won't let him introduce himself again because he's done it before, but I'm looking forward to, this is a good one actually. We've done this once before, but it's quite niche, and it's an example. I want Pete to talk through an example of a recruitment business that he brought back across to Peak Cashflow during the pandemic, and why, I guess. So Pete, look, thanks for jumping back on, and let's have a chat about this. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, indeed. So, bit of background. We've got a business which specialises in kind of on the fringe of traffic management, and it was growing quite quickly. Had been a client since about 2006.
Traffic management recruitment?
Yeah, so putting staff into large traffic management companies up and down the UK. And it would have been a client probably since, I'd say, about 2016, 15, something like that. Nice client, got on very well with them, grew quite quickly, and in particular had a very high concentration with one debtor, and that debtor lost its credit insurance limit, put a very poor set of accounts, and as a result of that, our insurance pulled the limit. So we sat down. And was this
before the pandemic, when the limit got?
Yeah, pre-pandemic. So probably about 2019, early 19, something like that, lost the limit. And we kind of traded with it for a little while, but it became clear that, it needed a decent limit, 130 and 40 grand. Ironically, I knew the accountant who was the auditor of the debtor. So I knew that it was coming, but it came, and that was that. So unfortunately, he needed to do something. And a competitor said, well, we've got a different insurance company.
And they could get the limit.
Yeah, they took the limit. I had to, obviously disappointed, but you have to shake the guy's hand and say, you've got to do what you've got to do. You've got to protect the business. Yeah. So he went to the competitor, and he rang me up after about 2 weeks and said, as soon as I can get the limit, can I come back, please? And I said, yeah, but you've got to get the limit, and you've committed to a contract.
Yes, so, absolutely. And then, I feel I know where this is going. I feel like I know where this is going. Yeah.
But we spoke on a regular basis, and then around about Christmas 20, he called and said, right, the next set of accounts are in on this particular debtor. We got the limit back, not as high as we wanted. So what we agreed to do is, look, give notice. We will take you back, but we will fund you partially against the insured limit from our back-to-back bad debt protection insurer. But we'll also give you a lump on top of that on an uninsured basis, because of the rest of the spread on the ledger, the fact we trust you, we like you, and we've worked with you for many, many years. And he said, yeah, great, let's do the deal. So we took him back in around about February, March time. He came back to Pete.
So he was literally gone for a year in essence, nearly not far out.
Yeah, 15 months, because he's gone for 12 plus his 3-month notice period. He came back, and his turnover's literally doubled. He's a very profitable business, lovely people to work with, and we can work within the parameters of the limit we've got now. Not only one, because he's spread his ledger a bit, so he's got some other customers, but really number two is that the payment terms on that debtor are running at about 60 days net, and he's sticking to them, which allows us to just about trade within the limits we've set, and it works. It's worked.
And the business, and has the actual debtor, has it improved? Have you increased credit limits? Because obviously credit limits have been an absolute, we've seen this happen a number of times over the last, especially in the pandemic, limits being pulled and people moving. And did you say something about the limit sort of he went across to the competitor, and then the limit got reduced thereafter as well?
Yeah, sorry, I should have commented on that. But after he'd been there probably about 6 or 7 months, that limit got pulled. Not completely pulled, but it got reduced. So I think he got 110, and it was reduced to about 75. So he was looking at that going, well, it's squeezing me already. So the pain wasn't so bad when he shifted back, especially as we could give a bigger limit. And I think we've got about 110 insured, and then we've done about 140. Because we've taken a view on the over and above on an uninsured basis, because we like the guy and he's got a decent spread on his ledger.
I think there's a bigger picture to this, and I say this to a few people, that I'm actually making the move on a highly concentrated deal that's very reliant on bad debt protection. Often you need to take with caution, because if someone if someone's offering a limit that your current provider isn't, how long is that limit going to stand? How long until the other insurance provider sort of finds out what the other one is and things like that? And look, there's always great scenarios of it, but I do say if your business is highly reliant on one debtor, tread very carefully when moving, because you make the move, you commit to 12 months, and then suddenly you potentially lose the limit. And this can happen anywhere. And I think it's just the right decision. You've got to really think about it.
Yeah. Well, there's only really 4 or 5 main insurers. So if you're dealing with one and then you haven't got a limit, but the other one has, it's a fairly obvious, if it's too good to be true, that limit's probably going to go at some point and you'll be in the same position you're in before. So just you have to think about those processes very carefully.
It's an interesting story though. So with you, left you, got a limit, dropped a limit, came back, and I'm running nice and smoothly now.
Yeah, no, good client, get on well, easy to run.
It's a great success story. I love hearing these stories, especially during these times as well. So look, Pete, thanks for jumping on and sharing. I'm sure you'll be back soon, and we will catch up soon.
Will do, Simon.
Thanks, Pete.
Take care, mate. See you later.
Bye.